When Chris first joined Parker's crew, he explained how different hard rock mining is from placer mining. For over a decade, he had worked in underground operations, drilling deep into mountains to extract gold veins from solid bedrock. Placer miners simply don't encounter these formations. You're not panning or sluicing here. You're breaking and crushing rock to free the gold locked inside. Most of Parker's team had never seen this process firsthand. Parker knew he needed someone with this expertise, and Chris immediately proved invaluable. He helped identify geological patterns, pointed out promising exploration spots, and gave Parker a new perspective on what lies beneath the surface. But one particular area of Parker's claim had caught Chris's attention for months. Subtle geological signs hinted that a hard rock vein might extend from the bedrock into the placer deposits above. "Look at how the gold concentrations spike as we approach bedrock," Chris noted during a geology discussion. "See how the flakes are larger and less weathered? That's a classic sign of a nearby source vein." Parker leaned in. "You're saying there's a hard rock vein under my claim?" Chris nodded. "The signs suggest it's possible. In hard rock mining, we drill to confirm. In placer, you usually don't because it's complicated and expensive. But the potential payoff is huge." Parker's mind raced. Their surface mining operation was already profitable. But if Chris was right, the gold hidden underground could dwarf everything they'd pulled from the surface. "What would it take to prove your theory?" Parker asked. And the answer to that question set the stage for one of the most intense, dramatic, and profitable weeks in Gold Rush Season 9 history. Chris laid out exactly what this would take. Core drilling to reach the bedrock and sample the suspected vein, metallurgical testing to measure gold content, structural analysis to map the vein's orientation and overall size. "We're talking serious money just to investigate," Chris warned. "And even if the vein exists, pulling gold from solid rock is a whole different game than placer mining. There's no guarantee it would be profitable." But Parker made a decision that defined his success. "Do the investigation. If there's even a chance, we're sitting on a major vein and don't know it." "I need answers," he said. Over the next 3 weeks, Chris approached the task like a seasoned hard rock miner. He drilled core samples at strategic points, mapped the bedrock structures, and analyzed the rocks for gold content. And when the results came back, they blew even Chris's expectations out of the water. The vein was real, massive, roughly 8 feet wide at its thickest point, running vertically from deep bedrock all the way to within 30 feet of the surface. And the gold concentration, extraordinary. Assays showed 0.8 to 1.2 ounces of gold per ton of rock. For comparison, most commercial hard rock mines turn a profit at just 0.1 to 0.3 ounces per ton. Chris had uncovered a vein 4 times richer than standard operations. "How much gold are we talking?" Parker asked, inspecting the core samples. Chris had already done the math. If the vein maintains its thickness and grade across the mapped area, we're looking at roughly 35,000 ounces of contained gold. At today's prices, that's around $72 million. Parker went quiet, letting the number sink in. Then he asked the crucial question, and what would it take to mine it? Chris's answer was cautious. "This isn't placer mining. We'll need to drill, blast, crush, and mill the rock to extract the gold. It's complex, expensive, and risky. But if we can adapt hard rock methods to a surface operation, the profit potential is enormous." Parker studied the cores, the geological maps, and the assay results. "You've spent your career in hard rock mining. Can you design an operation that actually makes this work?" Chris nodded. "I can, but it means doing things no one has ever tried in placer mining, combining hard rock extraction with surface processing, using explosives in a live placer operation, and managing risks surface miners don't usually face." Parker's decision was immediate. Do it. You have full authority to run this operation however you need. Millions are riding on your expertise, Chris. Make it count. Designing a hybrid hard rock placer operation forced Chris to innovate at every step. Traditional hard rock mining happens underground, in controlled environments. Chris had to adapt those techniques for an open-air, surface operation with active placer mining ongoing nearby and safety protocols protecting a larger crew than most underground setups require. The first hurdle was accessing the vein. Underground, you tunnel to it. On the surface, Chris had to excavate down carefully to reveal the upper sections of the vein, then drill and blast the gold-bearing quartz. We're basically creating a small open-pit hard rock mine inside a placer operation, Chris explained to the crew. Unconventional, but the most effective way to reach this vein from the surface. Excavation took 2 full weeks of painstaking work, all under Chris's supervision to avoid damaging the vein. And when the gold-bearing rock finally appeared, even the most skeptical crew members were stunned. Visible gold gleamed in the quartz, sharp against the gray bedrock. "I've been placer mining for 15 years, one operator said, examining the vein. "I've never seen gold like this. It's actually in the rock." Extraction was the next challenge. The hard quartz couldn't be dug out with normal equipment. It required precision drilling and blasting. Chris drew on his hard rock experience. Carefully placed drill holes to fracture the rock along natural weaknesses, precise explosive charges to break it without pulverizing the gold, and timing sequences to keep the crew safe while maximizing efficiency. "Blasting is dangerous," Chris stressed during safety training. "Everyone follows protocols exactly. No shortcuts, no assumptions. We do this right, or we don't do it at all." The first blast was scheduled for a Tuesday morning. The crew evacuated to safe distances, while Chris personally set every charge, double-checking connections and timing mechanisms. "Fire in the hole," he announced over the radio. Confirming all personnel were clear, he triggered the sequence. The blast was controlled. A sharp crack followed by the sound of rock fracturing. As the dust settled, Chris and Parker approached the site. What they saw next confirmed it. The vein was intact, the gold was visible, and the operation that no one thought could be done in a surface placer environment was now underway. The vein had fractured perfectly. Chunks of gold-laden quartz lay scattered across the site, glinting in the sunlight, ready to be collected and processed. Gold. Lots of it. "This is going to work," Parker said, lifting a piece of quartz embedded with visible gold. "This is actually going to work, but breaking the rock was only half the battle. The bigger challenge? Processing it. How do you efficiently extract gold from solid rock using equipment designed for placer mining?" Chris had a solution, and it was clever. First, crush the rock to free the gold. Then, feed the crushed material through modified wash plants, capable of handling both hard rock concentrate and traditional placer gravels. Specialized crushing machines reduced the quartz to gravel-sized pieces that could pass through sluice boxes. This hard rock processing ran in parallel with the regular placer operation, allowing both systems to operate simultaneously. "We're running 2 completely different mining operations on the same site," Chris explained to a visiting mining engineer. "Placer washing and hard rock processing integrated into one coordinated operation. I don't know if anyone's done this exact combination before. The results were extraordinary. Crushed vein material produced gold densities beyond even the assay predictions. Some batches exceeded 3 ounces per ton, concentrations that impressed even veteran hard rock miners. These are bonanza-grade values," a mining consultant told Chris. "If you can keep accessing this safely and processing efficiently, this could be one of the most valuable discoveries in Klondike history." Daily gold recovery from Chris's vein operations soared. 50 ounces, 80 ounces, 120 ounces. Numbers that outpaced Parker's entire placer operation on many days, all coming from a single vein that Chris had identified and figured out how to mine.